welcome to my second attempt at bringing you live coverage of today's launch of a Falcon 9 from Vandenberg Air Force Base out in California. This is the launch of a Falcon 9 that will be carrying a series of Iridium satellites as well as the two components of the GRACE follow-on mission for NASA. Now, this is the first time I've tried to do something like this from this particular location, and I am having some audio difficulties. So please bear with me while I work on trying to get audio in from our internet sources. So as you can see, there is currently a message coming from our NASA administrator. I'm going to switch over to host only while he talks and work on sharing out what exactly is going on right now. So today's launch is going to be the final mission for this particular Iridium rocket. This isn't one of the Block 5 missions, which is a way of saying it doesn't have all of the durability changes that have been made for today's rockets that we're able to use over and over and over. So while they could bring that first stage back down to Earth, in order to reuse it, they'd have to do significant changes to the system, and the costs just become prohibitive. So in this particular case, they're going yep, exactly as Michael says, they're using up their stock. Now, if you could pardon me a minute, I'm going to switch so that you can see what's going on, and I'm going to try and get the audio in with it. So we still have a NASA administrator speaking. We are currently, theoretically, about 4 minutes away from launch. And there's that rocket. So fuel loading is now complete. So they're getting closer and closer. So they're starting to pull away the various parts of the launch facility. So there's the arm that it's standing up on. They're starting to pull that away in readiness for launch. As I said, I'm still trying to get you guys audio. Please bear with me. On Macintoshes, it's a cranky system. So please feel free to ask me any questions you may have. This is going to be an instantaneous launch window. That means they either go or they don't. And the issue is they have a whole series of different spacecraft they're trying to launch on board this one rocket. And in order to get it to go, they have to go up to 300 miles, spin in just the right way to release the two different GRACE mission spacecraft, and then they have to refire their engines, go up to 500 miles, and release the Iridium satellites. This is a tricky system, and we're waiting to see if they can pull it off. Now, as I said, I'm trying to figure out how to get you guys your audio, and I'm not quite sure what's going on here. So let me switch what I'm listening to. So they've now pulled away the base as they prepare for launch. So it's not actually smoke that you're seeing, Gita. What you're actually seeing is all of the steam that's coming off the system. This is I believe it's a liquid oxygen fuel as their oxidizer. Hey, welcome Skylia's stream. Thank you so much. So they are now go for launch. You can see the countdown clock. Thank you so much for all of you joining. This is fabulous. So I'm going to work to make sure you guys have the best audio possible. Property. Thank you, everyone. This is great to have all of you here. I'm not quite sure why I'm having trouble getting the audio. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so you now have audio coming to you for the launch. Let me turn up the volume a little bit so that you can hear it better. So while you can hear it, I have to admit I can't hear it.
AFTS is ready for launch.
I'm sharing this experience with you in solidarity, and I'm going to pull up the audio in a different
F9
place.
startup.
So the spacecraft, as I was explaining earlier, that are getting launched with this, and let me turn down the volume a little bit. These spacecraft that are getting launched with this
LD, go for launch.
are a pair of GRACE follow-on missions. So the original GRACE mission was a mission that launched in the late 1990s, lasted until 2012, and what it was doing was measuring very
20.
carefully the distribution of material inside our planet. With
15.
these spacecraft, they're actually able to tell
10.
9, 8, 7,
sorry, I'm trying to get the audio up on my thing. 1 second. You watch this. I'm going to work the
3,
audio up.
2, 1, and liftoff of GRACE follow-on, continuing the legacy of the GRACE mission of tracking the movement of water across our planet.
Now this rocket is going to go up 300 miles, and then
Stage 1 props nominal. Nominal. GC copies, we'll go. GC copies, we'll go.
All right, we have a liftoff, Frankie.
Stage 1 props nominal.
And Sam.
GC copies, we'll go. GC copies, we'll go. Power and telemetry nominal.
Beautiful launch. Is going up. We're going to have.
so there will be no exciting return to Earth of the first stage of this Falcon 9. This is one of the older Falcon 9 models. The first stage has previously been used before.
As it's going the atmosphere out here.
Vehicles experience maximum dynamic pressure.
So we just went through max Q. Everything is looking good. The next stage is the main engine cutoff.
So this maximum dynamical pressure is related to the pressure from the atmosphere on the rocket.
And main engine cutoff is in about 50 seconds.
So the main engines are those engines that you see here glowing on the first
Main engine
stage.
cutoff is the point where the first stage of the rocket
So they have
will,
main engine cutoff,
stop ignition, of course, and be deployed.
and we'll have separation a little while after that. Welcome, everyone.
You can see an image now from the rocket image, actually.
So here we start to
Main
see the
engine cutoff
separation
will
of
be
the two
15
engines,
seconds.
or two stages. So we can only get the main engine cut off. We can
main
only
engine
get the
separation
separation
confirmed.
after main engine
Stage
cut off. So you have the main
separation has been
engines cut
confirmed.
off, then they drop that
So the
first
first
stage. And this
stage
is just a
was
weight-saving thing.
deployed.
You don't want to be carrying an empty fuel tank up with you into outer space.
See an image from the second stage.
And recognition. Stage 1 AFTS has saved.
They often, Mark Mello, recover the stage, but this particular first stage
So it's
had been
everything is nominal.
previously reused. They could have brought it back,
Right,
but it's one of the
separation
older first
successfully.
stages. So for them to
And you can see the
reuse this
graceful
particular
on the
first
Iridium
stage would have
spacecraft in
been
the picture there.
a huge extra cost, and it wouldn't have been as safe in the future. So in this case, they aren't bringing it home. They're letting it burn up.
Everything's going nominal.
So now they're on their way up to 300 miles.
It's an image
Yeah,
of
this
the
one's past
second
its
stage.
time. I can't tell you what islands are beneath. They launched off of Vandenberg Air Force Base in California. So the ocean that we're seeing is the Pacific. So the
So the
Grace
second
mission,
engine will,
this is actually the
will
Grace
burn for
follow-on mission.
approximately 8 minutes.
It is a pair of two separate
that will
spacecraft
get
that
the,
are going to be constantly
the second
sending
stage and
a
the,
signal of
both the
microwave
Iridium
radiation
and Grace
back and
follow-on,
forth between the two
stack
spacecraft.
up to the point where Grace follow-on will be separated from that stack. And then the launch vehicle, the second stage, will continue on and deploy the Iridium satellites after another burn, actually.
All right. So we have
So that's
8
the
minutes
300-mile mark.
until the second engine cutoff. So we're going to take some time to introduce folks to some of the members of the team.
So they go up to 500 miles.
While we wait for
those.
the end of the engine burn, we thought we would be able to introduce you to some of the project managers, Phil Morton of JPL and German research project manager.
So I'm going to take some time to introduce you to some of the science that's going to be done with this mission and to answer any questions you might have. So right now we have the Iridium satellite, and actually they're showing just pictures